Roberto A. Almodovar. Exactly 1004 words. P.O. Box 1661. First North American Serial Rights, Klamath Falls, Oregon, 97601. Copyright 2003 Roberto A. Almodovar, ralmodovar@gmail.com. That Familiar Feeling by Roberto A. Almodovar. Close your eyes tight and God save your ass if you open them, says a voice from somewhere in the back of your mind. If you know what's good for you, it whispers softly, forget what you saw, forget what you have seen. You stand there in defiance, facing it, wanting to see what will happen, beckoning for it to take you. A painful lump begins to form at the back of your throat, a horrible growing thing like a cancer that wants to explode inside you. A silent scream gently poises itself at your lips and smiles as that growing lump quivers back there, tickling you. It blocks life-giving oxygen, that lump, causing your throat to swell like a frog, and the only thing saving your little ass is the strong neck muscles gripping tight, vice-like. You've had a lifetime developing those muscles. Even your arms and legs refuse to cooperate as you stand there in desperation, eyes tightly closed now, knowing what will happen. You know this feeling, although you aren't capable of describing it yet. It's worse than the horror of the boogeyman. This you can see, this is tangible, this is real, and the closest thing you can imagine is helplessness. The struggle to keep it all down and under control only adds to the contractions rippling across your chest. They squeeze your lungs, causing shallow labored breathing as yet another lump grows further down your throat, hovering above your stomach and heart in that dark pit within your puny body. You feel it pressing there from inside your ribs, painfully nudging at your heart like a sharp cold spike. It sends rivers of uncontrolled crimson and adrenaline through your stretched arteries and veins. Your burning chest cavity can't decide whether to expand or contract, and before you know you're gasping, panting, out of breath, almost choking on your own saliva. How will you respond? Will it be a fury of snot, tears, and a loud scream, or will the snot flow freely and silently as you clamp down tight with your jaws, teeth mashing your lips so hard they draw blood, trying to keep the scream inside? Will your fists ball up tightly, ready to strike out at anything that comes close? Will you cower down, perhaps crumple, maybe feel your own hot urine run down your leg? Perhaps you will just stand there in silent terror and wait for the inevitable. You've tried crying out for help before, but no one else on the planet seems to care about your needs. Why do they simply stare at you and do nothing? Some stare with pity, others with sorrow, some even stare with a smile, and sometimes they even laugh with cruelty as they walk by. How could you possibly survive another second of this endless torment? Please God, you cry out in silent terror to the only ear that might be listening, and finally you dare to open your eyes, hoping with all hope that everything will be fine again. As you open your watery eyes, there it still sits, stinging your senses. The object of your torment in vivid color burns its image through your corneas to the back of your eyes. That sight so powerful, so beautifully and painfully clear that you can make out every detail even through watery eyes, an image you will never forget for the rest of your short human life. You take a breath and hold it tight for a moment as you study it, and it slowly and callously gazes back at you. In the future it could be the face of the lover that cheated you. In the future it could be the face of death as you stared down at a cold, lifeless corpse your mother made you kiss. In the future it's the school bully coming to bash your brains out because you wouldn't hand over your lunch. In the future it could even be a more hideous alien monster not hiding under your bed. But here it is now, mocking you from only footsteps away, drooling at you, smiling back with a relentless stare like cold steel reaching out and into your very soul, so close it can almost touch you. It wants to touch you, will touch you. The lump in your throat suddenly explodes, sending painful, uncontrollable waves throughout your body. The lump next to your lungs expands, then pops like a balloon, and you finally lose the battle. It's not fair, but tears flow freely now and you begin to scream wildly. Nothing matters anymore, not even life itself. The sum of all your fears is about to come true as the real monster approaches and those horrible cold bony fingers reach out for you, yanking at your hand tightly. starting to pull you away, sending ripples up and down your spine and the hair bristling on the nape of your thin little neck. No, you scream out, struggling with your life's breath. No, you screech louder to try and change the outcome. You take another desperate gasp of breath, trying to force air down that obstructed passage of a frog throat as your heart skips a beat, then skips another. You start to fight back frantically the best way you know how, kicking and thrashing, screaming with everything you have, but it's too late. The real monster is 5 times your size and strength. All your screams, your tears, and, yes, even the snot running down your nose and into your mouth cannot stop the inevitable as you are hopelessly dragged away while your shoes leave horrible skid marks in the pavement. In the end, the last image of the beautiful torment burning through your eyes and struggling little body as you are desperately dragged off screaming is that of the gigantic red radio flyer wagon on the opposite side of the window in Talbot's toy store. The toy you can't have until your 6th birthday, that is.